Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, evening, good night, wherever you live. Welcome back to the All Skills Race for both racers and viewers. We have today a race between Sylvie and Caliris in the 1-3 bracket. I believe they're called brackets in Swiss. But this is the final round of the Swiss format. Both of these runners have essentially already been knocked out of the potential for a final bracket
Top
segment.
16? Yeah.
Yeah. But so this is a race for honor. This is their last chance for a win essentially, and I think both of them actually really want it. So
Yeah, I
Calorie,
mean,
go ahead.
I was going to say, they're pretty close as far as their PBs go. Caliris, the best time I could find for him was a 102.58. And I believe Sylvie just PB'd a couple weeks ago with a 1 flat 26. So
I
they're fairly
do
close.
I do believe Calories had a better race time just during his last race, and
Did
his PB is a 56 to my knowledge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's quite intimidating. His movement is very good. The last
Yeah.
time we saw him race, he had a little bit of trouble with some bosses, namely Hornet 2 and the Hollow Knight, which honestly, if you're going to die to bosses, it should be those two. Um, Sylvie, on the other hand, uh, Sylvie is on his quest to get sub hour. He's been wanting sub hour in a race as well, so that'll be his main goal here. Whether he can beat Calories on top of that, it remains to be seen. So I think without too much further ado, we're a little behind, so we're going to start doing countdowns when we're ready.
All right.
Anyway,
Yeah,
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it looks like both are ready, so I'm going to do the countdown really quickly here.
Okay, thank you, Kitch.
You're welcome. Oh my
But
goodness.
basically today, I'm expecting to see Calories pull ahead a little bit in the early game. Um, and then Sylvie is going to have to hope to make up some time during bosses or uh, maybe just counting on a couple of larger mistakes in, say, Sea Peaks or later in Deep Nest, if he's looking to win this race.
Yeah.
Sylvie also has been practicing the end game, especially quite a bit, learning one cycle Umu. The Valley edit of the one cycle, I believe, primarily has become his most consistent strategy. So there's a potential we could see that in the race. Um, Calories, I don't actually. What's crazy about Calories is he did have some trouble with bosses, but he did manage to get the one cycle, I believe. So that was cool. So we might see one cycle from both racers here, but yeah, I don't quite have too many other expectations for this race. I think that I would like to see. I think everyone likes to see a race with minimal differences in RNG. I don't think if we see a 9 Balder spit for one person, I hope the other person gets a 10 Balder. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Uh, but hopefully we can get some minimal differences in RNG. Get a good run here and hope that neither of our racers die and just are able to show off the game to the maximum of their ability.
It should be a good race. Oh, Sylvie did fall after. Oh, and Caliris did as well. Both falling after pogoing that Venge Fly, so.
Oh yeah, that's quite rough. But I do have to ask, do you know if Calories has managed to finish a race without any unintentional deaths?
I do not. I could look it up though.
Yeah, okay. If you would want to. I'm actually curious about Sylvie. Off the top
So,
of my head, I don't think Sylvie has.
Sylvie has
But
had unintended deaths, yes.
yeah, but in every race is the question.
Oh, in every race.
Yeah. I know
Mm,
that Calories has had some unintended deaths. But I was just wondering how consistent it was. So both runners are actually leaving King's Pass at around 1 minute. Surprisingly even considering how abnormal that is for both of them. Normally you would want to see a 52, 53. I know that both racers are capable of it, but given that they both missed some movement, they both end up at around the same time. So quite fortunate. I don't want to see the differences piling up on either runner too early on.
Sylvie getting a clean drop. Caliris does get hit once, though. Little minor differences like that shouldn't make too much of a difference.
Yeah,
Though, in this case.
I would really like to see Caliris get this double spike here, because missing the double spike can lead to some additional damage. And honestly, if I took any more than this, yep, he missed it, and then he takes damage immediately, might take another. Intentionally starts going for slightly safer strats and healing. So that is actually going to put Sylvie with a significant lead here. I actually did not get word if we ended up getting audio back on Caliris. I shouldn't have said significant. It's a relatively minor lead. It's significant considering the early game.
Yeah.
But, you know, come the Watcher Night segment, for example, I doubt we're going to have a mere 4-second difference between these races, which is about what is accumulated. Sylvie actually takes an extra bit of damage there on that tick. I think he might have taken some extra damage on the pogo as well.
Yeah, so Caliris and Sylvie have taken unintentional deaths in every round of the tournament so far.
Okay, so it's fun. That's actually pretty fun. That means that both of these racers have a somewhat high range of volatility. I guess you could say. So this like people always say anything can happen in these races, but this is actually an anything can happen race. This is a race where we could essentially expect a death. And honestly, definitely give a huge congratulations to either racer that does finish with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we have both of them going after the False Knight. And both of them should be able to heal to full here, despite both being on somewhat low HP. That's why HP doesn't really matter too much in Crossroads. The fact that Caliris, or Caliris, as I've heard of him called, had to heal there is the only reason he's only 2 seconds behind Sylvie. I think that if he had chosen not to heal, at which he didn't come close to death anywhere on the split, he would definitely be currently ahead. But, you know, maybe that's definitely, yeah, that's analog memes for sure. Sylvie's mentioned that he sometimes, you know, gets an upward direction or an upward bent to his, when he moves his analog and just sits or reads dialogue on a bench.
He gets a snapback a bit?
Yeah, something like that. That was definitely not an intentional bench sit. That's all that I can really say there. Sitting on full HP on the way in doesn't really make a lot of sense. So
no. So now we're heading into another RNG section of the run where there will be balders spitting either fireballs or little balders at you, and this can affect a little bit more than the Gruzzer drops. Tournament record, I think, is 9? Or how many balder spits?
I've heard it was a little bit higher than that. But
11 now?
This really is the only, well, it's not the only RNG bit. I lied. That's the first RNG bit, is the balder spit. The next one is going to be, oh, it looked like Sylvie actually missed some dialogue mashing there. Both Caliris and Sylvie are going to sit on the bench on the way out. And yeah, Caliris just slightly in the lead now.
Yeah. So all these slight differences in movements and stuff are making a difference. You'll see more of it as the run goes on. But any deaths or longer boss fights should even it out as well. So it's going to be dependent on how well they handle things.
This is the other RNG room in this split. For most people and for the community some of best, this split only lasts until after the first fireball skip. But this Balder here is not RNG. They have a way, a method of killing it in one fireball guaranteed, so they don't have to wait for any spits or anything. Whereas,
Sorry, go ahead.
Caliris just gets that first fireball skip while Sylvie misses it. But go ahead.
It is worth mentioning that it is something that is exclusive, I believe, to 1.2.2.1. Not something that can be done on any of the later patches, that quick kill.
Yep, definitely worth mentioning. This is a 1-2-2-1 race. There's a few tech differences, inventory dropping, lever skips. We'll be getting into all of these later on. Though inventory dropping we could talk about right now. There isn't a very important fireball skip coming up. We want both our runners to grab about 9 hits of soul. Each runner with a little less is going to be okay with that. Maybe just a little extra soul collection in the last run before Moss Knights. It looks like both our runners got their fireball skip.
Beautiful.
And that one saves about 18 seconds. Maybe 14 if you don't even go for it at all, but yeah.
Caliris missing the third one, deciding not to try for a second time. Is he going to go for the body? No, they're not in position.
Yeah. Missing or lining yourself up for a redo on that third fireball if you're not super confident with it. Wow. Just with one man pogo, Sylvie puts himself back in the lead. Both of them failed that trick, that third fireball. But
does Sylvie go for it? I thought he always went for the body bounce.
Oh, he went for it. He missed his fireball skip. He jumped and he fireballed and okay, he didn't go for the Moss Knight leap at all. But that's all right. I think Caliris went for it, didn't get it.
No, he still had to use 3 fireballs. So they are going to have to do a lot of soul collection up here as well, because they did have to use those 3 fireballs in order to kill that Moss Knight.
Sylvie actually just missed a hit, a very important hit of soul. Or actually, maybe this is the way he normally does it. I don't imagine he normally face tanks though. But
no, I don't.
Anyway, 8 hits of soul is what they want to be leaving the run with. Both runners do achieve it. Caliris starts with the bad RNG, and yeah, he actually forces a jump back from the Knight, which I like.
Oh, so 1 HP right now.
Yeah, let's just make sure his pogo is good. Okay, there we go. That down pogo is not too precise, but it's very important to hit it, because if you don't, you'll literally just be jumping right into the Moss Knight. And on 1 HP, that's certainly a death. He'll be entering on 2 HP. The Hornet fight, pretty consistent, but he's had some troubles with it in the past, actually. So
yeah, and this is one of the. Sorry.
Go.
I was gonna say this: if a death does happen here, this is one of the worst places to die, because we do not have any movement now. So it was a very, very slow walk back from the mound bench. So
yeah, definitely.
Ooh.
And it's so important. Like in other splits, like the Hornet 2 fight. Very glad we saw neither runner actually die to Hornet there. Fairly clean fight from Sylvie. Played somewhat safe, but he still got his damage in. All these fireballs, but unlike the other Hornet fight and even Broken Vessel, there's no real safety strat that you can do to make this walk back a lot faster. You can't take a bench, otherwise you won't be able to quit out back to the Ancestral Mound, just like we're seeing here. Are we seeing a sync up, or Caliris' stream just cut out completely?
Not sure what's going on his side of things. Let's see if I can do his. In the meantime, we could talk about the other areas where deaths would be effectively detrimental.
Looks like we're back on Caliris.
Are we back? Okay.
Yeah. But deaths would be detrimental. I mean, the only places you're really going to get a death that's really above 2 minutes. Fungal wastes, I guess you could get one. It's pretty rough to have to go through it. Say if you die to the Mantis Pogo right at the end. It's a lot more rare to die here, so I think people
Yeah.
don't really talk about it. But it would actually be pretty bad to die right at the end.
Soul Sanctum is definitely one.
Yeah, depending on the bench. Is that? Or sorry, we're talking about places where it's common to die or bad to die.
Bad to die.
Yeah, Soul Sanctum is one. I guess if you, especially if you die to the Soul Master, that would require really risky playing because there's so much extra soul there if you want to play safely. So a runner is severely overestimating their ability or underestimating their nerves would be the primary result behind that. But we're skipping over Explosion Pogo,
Oh,
actually. So should talk about that. Both runners get a first try, bouncing on both the Spore and the Explosion. Something that particular version of the trick can only be done on this patch. And we get a Mantis Pogo too. But Explosion Pogo, they found ways to do it on every patch, but the older patches to me, or to most people, much easier.
yes.
It looks like we see both runners. Caliris had some trouble with the Mantises. I believe Sylvie got a much cleaner Pogo.
Yeah. So Caliris had to dash to the right and hit that area first, and then dash over. And he did take an extra hit from the Mantis youth that was sitting there.
And we do confirm that Sylvie saves about 2 seconds of time from Rixian, our timer on the chat.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rixian. Feels weird to shout out a chat member this consistently, but you know what? When you have someone doing this much consistent work for speed gaming, I think it's relevant.
It is. We appreciate
Anyway,
it.
both these runners are on their way to Gruzmother. They'll be looking to collect 6 hits of soul before entering the boss fight. Most of them collect on these Vengeflies here. Sylvie does miss one there. It means Jennifer is very likely to die. Jennifer being our little jumping husk right here, which Caliris will not kill and move on.
Ooh.
Sylvie falls all the way down into
And
the
takes extra
dome
hits
pit.
too. Ooh.
Yeah, these extra hits could hurt him. I doubt it. Taking 3 hits in a Gruz fight would indicate you've done something very wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas Caliris just showed off how quick that kill can be. 3 fireballs, nail fireball, nail fireball, nail fireball, and then 6 nail hits should finish her off. And yeah, then we're going to see the cleanup from Caliris, which is almost clean. He does get 1 Gruz that flies straight up. That will be a bit of a time loss. Let's see if Sylvie can get the better of this.
Yeah, he's got
He
the
gets
2 that flew up as well.
Honestly, not a huge difference in time for that.
No.
But Sylvie will be losing time falling in that Gome pit. So that will be where most of Sylvie's time loss in this split comes from. Other than that, not a bad split at all.
So they will be taking an intentional death here in order to set up for a shade skip into the right side of city. So we'll see them setting up for that. Oh.
Wait a second.
Okay. Caliris getting that very cleanly. And then we'll see Sylvie's attempt at it as well. He puts on Shaman after he dies, which is interesting to me. I usually see racers do it before. Oh, and he's getting a fireball as well. Unfortunate.
He did manage to get up there with the fireball, which is the mark of a not necessarily high consistency, but just knowing what to do there as a backup is very good.
Yeah.
I mean, the runner has some experience. A lot of new runners, if they get different RNG, will be thrown off, especially if the shade fireballs right before it's pogoable.
Yeah. It kind of sets off. It messes up your rhythm a little bit.
But you were saying it's strange that Sylvie equips Shaman after he dies?
Yeah. Usually I see them do it after or do it before.
That's surely not true. I don't think I know a single runner that equipped Shaman Stone before because it's faster to equip it after the death.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, because while you're sitting on the bench, and this actually has to do with glitch categories as well. I'll just be talking about this while they collect some geo from both the gorgeous husk and some husks along the way. But in glitch categories, we actually do a very similar thing, where there's a few seconds when either when you load into a bench, either from a death or from the main menu, where you're not able to move anyway. So the theory is just equip the charm while you're not able to move, and you'll lose less time than if you choose to sit on the bench. And yeah, Caliris, man, just really having yeah, a little trip up there. Almost left without any geo, or I guess, yeah, he pressed the quit out button, or like, I don't know. Maybe he was just getting into the crevice beforehand. It's a little weird to try to check that hallway for geo before collecting the rest, because the chances of the geo being in that hallway are quite low.
He's pretty good on geo right now, so he'll still have to do both rows of hoppers in order to get up to that 800, but he won't have to do any extra, like the aspids or anything.
Yeah, both runners actually have a huge amount of geo here. 704 is the minimum you want, and that's bare minimum. Like, that's really rough to need to collect every piece of geo, basically. 720, I would say, is quite a bit, and both runners actually above 730, with Sylvie above 740. So that will save time for both of them, likely, on the King Station split. Either that or Sylvie might try for some cheeky hopper skips here.
He did say that he was going to go for safe strats in the chat before the race started, so I don't know that he would.
Yeah, he does actually miss the cycle, but he gets right back under that, oh, that's, no, yeah.
Oh,
No, okay. I'm not sure I really like that strat of going all the way back for the hopper. He does decide to kill all of them. Oh, okay. I thought he was on 1 less HP than he had. I don't know why I thought he was on 2 HP. I was like, okay, he's on 1. Nope, he's on 2. So, despite having a few mistakes there, not horribly out of place. He does miss a significant amount of geo for this. Though it won't matter to him. It's just that Caliris was able to make up some difference, so to speak. They're now only 4 geo apart.
Yeah. So that'll make a difference when they're buying King Station.
I think it would have made a difference if the geo gap was larger. But having this much geo will make a difference for King Station for both of them, but it'll be about the same difference. I don't think we're gonna see. It'll also depend on geo collection and Soul Sanctum. You can kill Soul Twisters, which will yield some extra geo as well. But yeah.
Caliris making his way up to that dark room, doing one of the lever skips that we were talking about before that is exclusive to the 1221 patch as well.
Yep, and this lever skip not requiring dash slash, unlike most of the lever skips we'll see here.
Yes.
The lever skips, the dash slash is such an important skill because it allows for these additional lever skips, especially because it allows it in this area, where first off we can sequence break, one of the largest sequence breaks in the game actually, to get into the Shade Soul area without fighting a boss. So, and also without getting the Elegant Key or the Shopkeeper's Key, both of which are required to even challenge the boss that normally guards this. Caliris opting to use 2 fireballs there will mean he's a bit low on soul to start the fight with, unless he finds another place to collect it. He's on his way to Shade Soul, but afterwards they have to fight another Soul Warrior on the way to Soul Master, mainly for geo. It shouldn't be an optional boss, but this dash slash lever skip thing that we just saw Caliris perform there makes it into an optional boss.
Another reason why I love 1221, because if you are doing it on current patch or anything of the like, it is an extra 800 geo that you would have to spend in order to be able to get this particular skill. So that lever skip does save a lot of time and a lot of geo routing.
Sylvie did the same thing, by the way, where he did 2 fireballs to kill the Soul Twister, but he actually had more soul coming in to this fight. And Caliris, okay. I believe that's actually like the highest level reset of the elevator. Most runners will just, yeah, reset it a little bit like that. Good. Yes, one more nail hit. Perfect.
Yeah.
So that was a somewhat unique version of the quick kill. Quick kill just meaning that you get 4 Shade Soul hits right at the start, 2 double hits. This guy's giving him the worst RNG possible. He actually just bailed.
He
doesn't have any soul, so he was just resetting the realm. Like,
I would have been okay with him getting that soul jar by the elevator, honestly. Just dash slashing through it. Through the wall.
Oh, he really doesn't want this guy to teleport into him, and now he's in his way. And oh wow, he's getting really. Whew, this is stressful stuff. Sylvie, meanwhile, on his way to fight the Soul Warrior.
He's just hanging out there.
He really doesn't want anything to do with this, and he accidentally hits the elevator.
No.
This has to be one of the most tense versions of this room that I've ever seen.
That gives Sylvie a significant opportunity to catch up too now, as well.
Yeah, Caliris. Although he played with confidence in a lot of areas, really just trying to farm soul from the Soul Twister, which is the most dangerous of the enemies in the realm.
Okay, so he's not going to be going for the quick kill on Soul Master. He did open those jars.
Yeah.
I wonder if Sylvie will go for it.
Yeah, so not only will Sylvie be entering this room, I believe, ahead of Caliris on time now, but he'll have the opportunity to go for a much faster version of this fight. Caliris destroyed that opportunity quite literally when he broke those soul jars, as Gidge was mentioning. You need those soul jars there in order to fireball them off screen. Sylvie misses a fireball, and he still might have a much faster fight. Get one more nail hit, perfect. Oh, Soul Master's 1 Shade Soul away from death for Sylvie. I'm almost certain. Oh, he didn't even need that Shade Soul. He was 4 nail hits away. And now, although the Soul Master's dying on both their screens, Sylvie is about 15 seconds ahead on the timers there.
Getting stonewalled by that Soul Twister really did affect Caliris badly for this split, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Sylvie also got some really brilliant RNG from the Soul Master. I believe Caliris got some similar RNG, but he just wasn't able to capitalize it because, as we said before, he broke those soul jars that would have allowed him to do so. But the fact is that Sylvie had a fairly good fight with the Soul Master. A little unfortunate towards the end where the Soul Master was just teleporting left and right without giving him any nail hits because he only needed a few more, but nonetheless.
Are we getting a sync up here?
Yeah, looks like it. Excellent.
Oh, maybe not.
Or, yeah, no.
Maybe not. Oh.
Looks like we're having a couple of stream issues from Caliris.
There we go.
Yeah, maybe we can get a sync up somewhat soon. If the difference continues to grow, or I guess remain the same between these two, I would like to see a sync up. Actually, you know what? I'll call for one now. We'll see.
Okay. In the meantime, they are making their way out of Soul Sanctum. Soul Master is a hard save, so they aren't able just to save and quit out to the bench. They do have to actually physically walk/dash out of the Soul Sanctum and gather as much geo as they can as well, because they will be buying King Station, which is an extra 300 geo. Caliris is not doing too bad. They're about the same on geo, so we are going to be looking for them to dive through that breakable floor and
the first place I would expect them to collect geo is this room coming up right here. I expect one hit and then a fireball. Caliris kind of opting to skip them. I guess he might know that he doesn't really need it. 273 is somewhat comfy to just go for a dive and then a fireball. later on. So that's actually a fine choice now that I think about it. Most runners would
So
only be okay going through that room after killing them.
Sylvie does
Sylvie,
go in, and he's only 2 geo short now.
yeah. So a little over geoed for Sylvie, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
okay, that's interesting. So he
Hmm.
decided to go all the way to the left and kill. Yeah, I'm
That
not sure that was the wisest decision. Maybe feeling a little bit nervous after that Soul Sanctum. I do think it was unusual to go all the way to left to kill that
Ooh.
Nox. But either way, both of them will be making it to the King Station split.
Now this is another area we were talking about detrimental death. This where they're going now is considered another semi-scary split. That bench that they took in Spire is the last bench that they will be taking for a while. They are going to be going into Crystal Peaks, which is very cycle-based. If you get off cycle, it's very easy to take a lot of hits of damage before you're able to either get back on cycle or get out of the room.
And we are getting a sync up here.
Okay.
So that was actually what was going on that time. Timer should pause here and catch up a bit to Sylvie's. But anyway, Sylvie now having the visual lead in addition to the timer one, so that was the main goal of that, was to make it a little easier to have Sylvie
tried to
arriving to
grab that
locations
ledge.
first.
It looked like
What?
Sylvie tried to grab the wall and C-dash over for a second.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty likely. Muscle memory from other splits is very common. If going through the same area in completely different runs, like the differences between any percent and all skills, can lead to confusion. Going through the same area in the same run is surely even more confusing. So I don't blame him at all for that one. He was having muscle memory for when they're on the way to the Hollow Knight, but not a big deal. They will be entering the Crystal Heart split. Caliris actually took a bit of damage along the way, and Sylvie just took his first hit of damage in the first room. So that's actually pretty suboptimal. If you're consistent in Crystal Peaks, you're unlikely to take a lot of additional damage, but there are a lot of places where you can if you make mistakes, and Caliris actually takes yet another hit.
Yeah,
Why do
I'm
Okay, sorry. I'll be switching the audio back to Sylvie. I forgot.
I'm wondering. Caliris looks like he's trying for safety strats, but he's missing some of it. Sylvie taking some extra hits on that.
Oh,
Laser room. He's down to 2 HP going into the top of Crystal Peaks. Sorry, go ahead.
It was really important that Sylvie got that.
Oh no,
man.
Caliris just died to the laser room that Sylvie took a couple hits on. So this is what we're talking about. He is going to respawn at that Spire bench. He is going to have to make his way all the way back, and he does not have Crystal Dash yet.
Yeah,
so there's just going to be simple dashes and stuff to get back over there.
Yeah, for anyone less informed on the all skills route, the Crystal Heart is the first goal in C Peaks, but it is not the last. Sylvie actually falls off attempting the dash slash, the Homothety dash slash here. He does show it off a second time with maximum confidence. I would hope we see a damageless cycle here.
Yeah.
A little strange that he had to. Yeah, no, he didn't set that up right.
Yeah, he's off cycle now.
He went for the damage cycle, but then he chose not to do damage, which is not exactly how that's supposed to work. There is a setup if you want to go through that run damageless as fast as possible, but what we were saying earlier is that's not really going to matter. Because Caliris took that death and has not acquired this ability, which is, objectively speaking, the fastest ability in the game for mass area traversal, so to speak. Oh my goodness, he almost took that bench, which would have been a huge time loss. Thinking, just muscle memorying a Dirtmouth bench that for a later split.
I am very surprised that Sylvie hasn't taken any of the soul totems to heal up a little bit. To be quite honest. Especially going into this next room, the dark room.
Yeah, I mean, Sylvie does a safe version of the dark room, so he really shouldn't be taking too much damage, but 2 HP isn't really safe for the D-Dark room specifically either, because you can get double hit quite easily on a lot of these crystals. But we'll see his dark room strat. He should fireball a crystal hunter that you guys was just out of view for chat. Then he should be doing 3 more C dashes, 1, 2, and the third one right here. And he's up and over. Shouldn't have any. Okay, that was a little scary. Wasn't quite sure where that Crawlid was, or not Crawlid. He wants 2 HP here. Glimback, thank you. He wants 2 HP here to be able to perform an early control at the end of the race. We did not mention, by the way, that Sylvie went for both Underplat and for Pogax here, so he's been having a pretty wild split here.
He always goes for Pogax, though. Sylvie and Pogax is a thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But there's been so much to talk about in these last 2 minutes. I was going to say, oh, Caliris uses a fireball to kill his shade, actually. Very cool.
Ooh.
Making sure to minimize any extra time lost from that death. And Sylvie makes it here without taking an extra hit of damage at all. He grabbed some extra soul for safety, which I do like to see, but he ended up not needing it, so... And he'll be able to use this, actually, in the future split in Dreamnail to get an early dive to reset the Seer's timer even earlier than an inventory drop would get him. So, yeah. That's actually cool.
Meanwhile, Caliris is making his way to the Crystal Heart room, opening up that lever. Didn't take as much damage as the first time, thankfully. Oh, he had his nail art charged up, and I think he let it go before he dashed. So he did end up dropping into those spikes, going for safety strats this time. Will he be going for damage cycle? He is not. Yeah, he's on 3 HP. I'm not surprised that he's going for damage list. Do we get Underplat? We get Underplat. And he is going to go for that Soul Totem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he might be spooked a little bit based on what's happened.
I really do want to applaud Sylvie for that last split. Oh, that's... Okay, yeah. I think Soul actually does carry over all the way to Watcher Knights, so... I think that was a mistake. No, it doesn't. You have to quit out here. So yeah, it won't matter at all. I'm being ridiculous. I know that the Soul would carry over after the dream, but I didn't think about what happens after the dream, which is a quit out. But anyway, I do want to applaud Sylvie for that Crystal Heart split. He does miss a important wall cling here, but it'll only lose him 10 seconds, whereas Caliris lost well over a minute with his last death.
Yeah.
Probably up to 3 minutes, in fact.
And the Crushers are giving him a bit of trouble. Actually, according to Rix, it's 2:38 that he's behind now at Crystal Heart.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it shouldn't be 3 minutes because you didn't die like in the Crystal Heart room. Dying as late as you possibly can in Sea Peaks is even more painful than dying earlier, like Caliris did. Caliris is going for the dash Darkroom strat, which is a riskier strat. He heals up here, so he's still definitely not going for the slower strat. Yeah. It's a riskier strat, but it's faster. It looks very smooth when you get it right, and on that second try, he does get it right. Very good to see that.
How much faster is that than the Sylvie's method?
What was that?
How much faster is that than Sylvie's method?
I believe it's about 7 seconds. Which is an important 7 seconds. 7 seconds in a single room is honestly a lot. It sounds like a little bit, but we're usually talking about differences of, 2 seconds maximum in differences between runners for, rooms that aren't super movement heavy or long. But for just a single room to cost you 7 seconds with a different strat is quite abnormal. Caliris gets the early control while Sylvie starts a fight with the Watcher Knights. He gets that first watch tonight fairly quickly. You definitely want to kill these guys before they roll. And then he gets, yeah, I like to see that double dream nail strat.
Beautiful. Oh, he is damage tanking quite a bit. Damage tanking is something that you do in this fight in order to be able to de-dark them like he is doing right now. Taking a bit more
Dang it.
than I would expect, though.
That last watch tonight. Oh,
There.
there we go. That was actually good. I was worried that last watch tonight had a lot more HP than he did. But yeah, just a single D-Dark will finish him off. I was gonna say you really don't want the low health Watch Knight to be the one that rolls farther away out of the damage, but it turns out it didn't matter too much. He managed to clean them up, and he will maintain this fairly massive lead that he has accumulated. Which I never got the chance to mention. Sylvie was on 2 HP when he managed to in the key room get a damageless cycle with a trans dash, I believe it's called now, where you dash into a wall and you bounce away from it and retain that speed. Using a trans dash while Caliris gets that dream underplat that Sylvie just barely missed earlier. Definitely a bit of a cool swag strat. Does save some time. It's underplat 2, as people would call it. Based on what you said about Caliris getting the totem, I would assume he didn't do the first underplat.
He did do the first underplat, yes.
He did do it, and then he went back up to the totem?
He went back up to the totem, yeah.
Okay. So, Caliris 2 for 2 on underplats. It is a little bit slower to go for underplat if you intend on going to the totem above it, but not going to make a huge difference unless Sylvie dies again, which is possible. We mentioned right at the beginning of this race that there's that both these runners have a somewhat significant chance of dying in this race, neither run having completed a race without deaths. So at this point, maybe the question isn't to ask, does Sylvie die somewhere? And it's better to ask where Sylvie dies and how much time that will lose. Caliris died in one of the worst places you possibly can, which not saying that it's bad skill-wise, it just means that it's going to cost you about as much time as you can possibly lose.
Caliris did miss that early opening of the chandelier room with the fireball. Did have to resort to nail hits.
We also do have to talk about how Caliris has had better movement overall.
Yes.
And he has eked out leads in pretty much every split except a couple of early ones. So Sylvie does have to be on his toes and watch out for Caliris' comeback. Especially considering that Caliris' PB is actually about 4 minutes ahead of Sylvie's. And he's actually going for the spike tunnel skip. Well, the Watcher Knights are giving Caliris good RNG. I believe slightly better than what Sylvie had.
Yeah, they rolled much more for Sylvie than they are for Caliris.
Yeah, they're just being extremely polite. They're lining right up for him. He's going to be fine on HP and on soul. Oh, I think he really...
the wall for that second. Oh!
No.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you farm soul off the warp, personally. No, the worms are very dangerous and unpredictable enemies. Sometimes they have knockback, sometimes they don't. I personally don't understand it, and I don't recommend farming soul off them unless you do.
There is the blood sack above that you can fairly easily farm soul off of. There is the bellfly that does come down at first, but he's easy to avoid. And then you can just dream nail that blood sack for extra soul to heal or whatever you need it for.
Noteworthy, Sylvie is still ahead on both our timers and visually, but like they're now both in the Watcher Spire. Sylvie was way ahead of Caliris here on the first time he left, but now he is going to be about on par with him. Yeah, definitely not what I would have liked to see in that split. Would have liked to see a little bit more safety there, but that's all right. Sylvie is getting right back into the game. He's going to go right for these lever skips. Hopefully he remembers where his shade is. When runners aren't used to dying in runs and not resetting, they sometimes lose track of where their shades are. Actually, I forgot he didn't die to spike tunnel, so his shade isn't in anywhere weird. It's going to be somewhere where he can probably not miss it.
Yeah, it'll be after. Yeah, it's right there. It's not bad.
Just Shade Soul it.
This Shade is not being nice to him either.
No. I would have liked to see him Shade Soul the Shade, but it's actually good to save the Shade Soul for
There we
the
go.
Wurms there. So I shouldn't have called him out there. That was fine.
Oh,
Yeah, that was what he didn't want to happen. He actually walked backwards into that last room without doing anything here, and he was trying to avoid that situation.
oh my goodness, Sylvie.
That Wurmp is probably not gonna hit him now, just because he C-dashed it. Oh my god, never mind, that
Please,
Wurmp's
still.
unstoppable! What the
Be
heck?
careful, Sylvie. Oh, he's on 1 HP exiting this room, and you don't know where that other Wurmp is going to be either. I've seen people take a couple damage and get stuck because of that second Wurmp.
Usually that happens when they are C-dashing out, but yeah, the Wurms in this whole area are quite frustrating to deal with. Very RNG-based enemies when it comes to where they spawn and where they drift. That's why they Shade Soul on this second Isma skip here. Okay, Caliris.
Here. Oh no.
Yeah, and he doesn't actually have the backup there. There's a backup C-dash that's very good to know about. Clear's struggling a little bit with the setup list trick on the Wurmp room, on the Isma's room. Every room is a Wurmp room here. I shouldn't have said that, but he does get the early control as well. Something we glossed over for Sylvie because we were so concerned about his HP. But if you hit a Wurmp and it comes and hits you during the animation of the Isma's tier pickup, it will knock you out of that animation, and you will save several seconds of waiting just by tanking a hit there. It's very similar to the D-Dark early control, which we also somewhat glossed over because we were talking about the death there. Caliris choosing a safety heal, knows how dangerous the split is, does immediately tank some damage, and it looks like he got nervous. I think he's fine. He knows these flying AI fairly well, it looks like. Being on 1 HP here is a little scary, but he will have a bench coming up. All he needs to do is dodge 1 Crawlid and 1 batch of spikes.
Ooh.
Sylvie, in the meantime, going through the Mauler.
Not doing too badly with him. Was he trying to farm soul off of that Shadow Creeper? That's an interesting one.
Sorry, I might let you take over commentary while the dogs.
Okay. So Sylvie going for that face cam does not get it, so he will be going around. That saves, I don't think very much, a few seconds. But he will be going into the Broken Vessel fight. He does have enough soul to try the fairly quick kill. So what you would want to do is you want 2 fireballs to start the Broken Vessel fight. 1 as he spawns and 1 right after. And then you're going to be looking for that headbang bat. Because then you can just chain D-Darks. Sylvie... There we go.
Yeah, it seemed that Sylvie didn't quite know that the headbang is pretty much guaranteed. This is very spooky.
Yeah, he's on 1 HP. That's a little scary.
Oh my goodness, and that D-Dark will finish him off. Oh, it's like, it seemed like Sylvie wasn't expecting the headbang there because he Shade Souled when you really, if you know the Broken Vessel is going into the headbang state, you want to save that soul for full damage D-Dark. 88 damage versus 40.
And you can't stagger him when he's doing his headbang, which is why it's optimal.
Yeah. It looks like Caliris got that double hit right at the start as well. I've never seen someone get the double hit in the way that Sylvie did. Caliris actually opts for Shade Souling instead of D-Darking as well. I don't think both racers doing it means that it's the optimal strat. But he actually kills Broken Vessel off very quickly after that headbang.
Yeah.
So, not too much time loss. I believe he did get the faster of the 2 fights. He is still significantly behind, it looks like, by over 30 seconds still. But
according to Rix, it's 56 seconds from the Isma's exit.
Right, I was trying to calculate how much time he saved. But it is going to be over 30 seconds even after this split, I'm sure. Almost sure.
Oh.
We'll be able to confirm that in a second, but
And we didn't mention it, but they aren't going to have to really geo-route anymore. That Watcher's Night chest that they got basically gets them covered for the rest of the split. Anything that they need will be incidental collection that they'll be doing along the way. So any enemies that they are killing will make up the rest that they need for the rest of the route. Both of them making their way over to Hornet 2 now. This is one of the most dangerous bosses in this tournament. I think most people, or that most of the deaths that we have seen have been to Hornet 2. See if Sylvie's going to take the safety bench. He did say that he was going to be going for safer strats, so I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the camp bench as a safety bench. Yeah, he is going to go for it. Reasonable considering how dangerous she is.
yeah. And it's also, I would say, extra reasonable, if that's even a phrase. Considering that Sylvie does have the lead here, it means that he has a lot more time to play with, and let's say both runners died to Hornet 2. A single death right now for just Sylvie would put him in the lead. But if both runners die to it, then he maintains that lead no matter where Caliris benches. And
yeah. I'm wondering if Caliris is going to safety bench or if he's going to try to... Oh, he is going to safety bench. Okay. I wasn't sure if he is going to just try and get Hornet 2 on the first try, just try to make up some of that time.
Yeah, that's a very risky strat, and honestly, I think that is a good move from Caliris, because Caliris is not too confident with his boss fights. It's his movement that he's confident in.
Yeah.
And I think that he has the opportunity to make up a lot of time on Sylvie in other places. And whether he's keeping that in mind, he may not even be watching the race, but I think that was a good play from Caliris, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because this is where he had 2 deaths in his most recent race. So.
Yeah, I believe so. Sylvie treating damage pretty evenly with Hornet here.
Yeah, not really what you want to see. She has a lot more than 5 HP.
Yeah, there. With that safety bench, though, he only loses... He doesn't lose that much.
It's something like... It would be 40 seconds if he died a little earlier on. But I think with how late he died in that fight, definitely in the latter half, it could be closer to 50.
Yeah.
But Caliris will be going for some D-Darks, some double hits, hopefully.
He's going for more safety, it looks like. Which is reasonable, considering the 2 deaths. And considering how his race has been thus far. Yeah, there, he got it first try.
Yeah. And that's definitely going to put Caliris in the lead, so I'll go ahead and switch the audio. But I definitely want to talk to these runners about their mental game, whether they were watching the run, whether they knew their opponents were in the lead there, because Caliris deciding to go for that bench will have lost him 15 seconds, but and will have saved Sylvie a lot of time considering his death there. I am quite curious.
And
oh, nice. Sylvie gets the second try, and honestly, he's not too far behind Caliris.
I think he's about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I think
so. That's why going for that safety bench. If he had taken even the King Station bench, he'd be so far behind here. And this is recoverable.
Yeah.
If Caliris were to die to the Hollow Knight, and Sylvie were to maintain, Sylvie's been playing really well. He actually hasn't been letting Caliris slip too far ahead in these individual splits, as I might have suspected at the beginning of this.
And they have been trading off on the lead back and forth. So
yeah, they really have been. Most of that trading off has been due to deaths, but despite these deaths, I would say fairly close between these two.
Yeah, it's been a good race from both of them. So now both of them are going to be making their way to the second nail arts, Cyclone Slash.
Did I miss something? Did Sylvie go for invis control? Doesn't look like he did.
He might have. Oh,
Sylvie nail slash while invisible? I don't think that should matter. I don't think that that's against the rules. But yeah, as long as you're not gaining movement. Yeah, he didn't actually go invisible. Like, I think that's the same as charging a nail art, which is specifically allowed. You're allowed to charge nail arts, though not C-dash, yeah. Should be fine. There is a 5-second penalty if you go for early control there, but I don't believe that that would be considered early control.
Caliris taking a bit of damage, even just going up to Cyclone.
Sylvie forgot a bench. No. Someone's got to tell Sylvie. Sylvie band. She's going to have to come all the way back from Kingsbrand. This actually might be Sylvie's biggest mistake so far, even more than the... I actually wouldn't have even noticed that myself if you hadn't mentioned Caliris taking damage. I'm like, well, yeah, it shouldn't matter that he's taking damage just because they just healed up and they quit out right after.
Oh no.
Might be invisible.
Sylvie going oops
in
chat. There it is.
Yeah, I mean, with a 40-second delay on what we're seeing here, yeah, there really wasn't an opportunity to tell him with such a short split.
Where was his last bench? It was the
it's not a bench. It's going to be the hard save. It's going to be the hard save after Kingsbrand. And and Kali said that he's probably going to be invisible too. I don't think there's a 5-second penalty for going invisible because of a quit out. That would be very strange. But yeah, 'cause it's not intentional. It's not a type of invis early control. I don't know though. It is a banned glitch. Well, in any case, we'll be seeing on that.
Poor Sylvie. Yeah, and at Cyclone Slash, Caliris was 30 seconds ahead. It is going to be more though because of that hard save. Back to Kingsbrand, unfortunately. I would expect Caliris to take the safety bench. I was going to say that.
Oh, and there he intentionally. Sylvie intentionally goes for invis early control there.
Yeah.
Kind of signifying that he doesn't really think that there's a chance of him coming back here. It might have been faster to go back through KP? Oh, that's so debatable. I like the idea of that being true. It would be very close, actually, I think. I think it would just be... a few seconds in difference. I feel like it only takes...
Ooh, Caliris taking a lot. Did you see if he took the safety bench? I didn't see. I don't think he did, considering his HP is 2.
C-dash Ramada put you right back in Dirtmouth? Oh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I did forget about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's honestly one of the worst experiences to either die or quit out and then look at your save, because one of the cool details of Hollow Knight, and one of the things that shows how much effort they put into this game, is the little save file will show a preview essentially of the last area you have a save in.
Caliris is doing Umu's fight, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
He does miss 1 cycle though, and he's on 1 HP. I do not think he took the safety bench. So this could be an opportunity for Sylvie to catch up as well.
I mean, with Caliris opting to heal there, this is almost certainly at least a 2 cycle. Yeah, this is not going the way. Yeah.
No, it's a 3 cycle at least. He's not getting the damage output that he needs.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. At least a 3 cycle. And honestly, he didn't have a great 2nd cycle either. No. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 4 cycle. It would be somewhat rare in this category. He does miss another dream nail. I think it's a 4-cycle.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is definitely an opportunity for Sylvie to catch up if he gets the 1 cycle. Sylvie, I would expect to take the safety bench as well here.
Man, I think Sylvie's going to be kicking himself, honestly, if he loses this race, because this is so winnable, I feel like.
Yeah.
I think if he hadn't made that bench mistake in Dirtmouth, he would be ahead after Umu, provided he gets a good Umu fight, which I will expect either a 1 or a 2 cycle from him. 2 cycle more likely at this point. He's going to be fighting Umu while invisible. No. And I wouldn't recommend the safety bench either. Being confident in this fight. I know Sylvie's confident enough to at least 2 cycle.
Okay.
And yeah, he even goes for a heal there. But he missed a dream nail, or missed an opportunity for a dream nail.
Is he setting up for this? Is
I think he's actually having trouble. He's setting up for the Valley edit of the 1 cycle, but he doesn't have the soul to do it. So I'd be very surprised if this 1 cycles. If he gets a dream nail here, it can.
There he goes.
It can. Yeah, but no, he's not quite in position, and he pushes Umu out of the D-Dark early, so he does get a really good damage cycle on him. But so this will be, I think, an easy 2 cycle from him, which will be a time save.
Was it enough, though, is the question.
It definitely won't put him in the lead. That's for sure.
No. But what was the difference?
Oh no, get that for Shade Soul. Oh, I think that Shade Soul would have killed. But he fell off the platform. Honestly, I'd be struggling to do this fight invisible. I don't think... Sylvie, I think when he went for that invis early control, was thinking of how you'd normally have an opportunity to get rid of it after Cyclone Slash, but there's no quit out for a very long time after that. So he's actually going to be doing huge portions of the game while invisible.
There he goes. He got it on 3 cycle at least.
Oh.
Is it only the safe quit that will make your knight visible again? I'm not actually 100% on that.
Yeah, this race is absolutely wild. If nothing else, I can say it's been very entertaining to commentate.
Yeah, he could quit out. It would be another time loss if he does quit out after benching in Archives, but he could do that just so that he is visible. Oh, he's visible now. Maybe that's all it needed.
Aerospace, I believe it has something to do with quitting out to a place Hornet doesn't come to save you a second time. Okay, yeah, so it does have to do with going back to a place that you shouldn't be by quitting out. Yeah, the developers just didn't quite, at least on this patch, account for what would happen if you just quit out there, I guess, and went back to your hard save. It's strange that they would put the hard save in a place that you're not really supposed to return to. I guess it's in case you manage to die in the collapsing shell of the worm. But Sylvie is on his way out from Monomon.
He is visible now, so it's okay.
Yeah, the dream should fix. Going into dreams and into Z-axis doorways fixes a surprising amount of glitches. But they're both headed to this Great Slash. Caliris just about to pick it up. Sylvie just starting on his way out.
So this is their last nail art. Don't really use this one that much. Dash Slash is the one that they use the most, followed by Cyclone if they decide to do some Cyclone drops instead of inventory drops. Great Slash isn't used much for anything that they need in this particular run.
Yeah, they do use a Great Slash in one specific place to get a little faster wall breakage, but yeah, other than that, really minimal. Especially because we get it so late in the run. And in this category, the nail is really just a soul gathering stick. It doesn't do that much damage. 5 isn't really able to compare to 80, which is a double hit from a Shade Soul, 88, which is a full D-Dark, or 120, which is all 4 ticks of the Abyss Shriek that we get at the end.
Now we do see Caliris heading into Queen's Gardens. He will be going to the Wraiths Arena. It'd be kind of interesting to see how he sets this up. There's been a few different ways that I've seen runners doing this. Also, whether he will be doing he is going to be doing the C-dash just to get rid of these squits before closing off the arena so they don't wander in. Ooh, Sylvie on 1 HP.
Man, he's gonna have to play so carefully here.
He's got full soul. He could heal. Yeah, he does take a heal. That's fair.
Yeah, just one tiny mistake here. You wouldn't want that to be... Well, not the end of the run, essentially, but... Wouldn't want that to be the way to go out on this split.
No.
As of right now, he's still respectably close to Caliris. I'm sure he wants to keep it that way.
Caliris doing very well with this Squid Arena, managing to get Wraith very easily. Now he will be heading over to the Dark Rooms in Deep Nest. Because we do not get Lantern, these rooms are all dark. But the runners have experience traversing them. The thing with the Dark Rooms is that when they get there, if they do take damage into spikes or something of the sort, it will respawn them at the beginning of the room. And I've seen a few runners actually lose their bearings because of things like that.
Mm-hmm. Gonna see if Caliris... No. That's a little far to the right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No underplat here either.
Yeah, he goes for first underplat, but not second underplat. Or, sorry, he goes for first and second, but not third underplat. I do severely... Doomsaying? Oh no, Colette, please don't doomsay our runners. I was gonna say that because he skipped the first and second underplat, because he skipped the third underplat, I don't think he'll go for the fourth one in Deep Nest, which could lead to a Deep Nest fall. Sylvie going for the Squid Arena. Ooh, was going pretty well until he missed that squid, the hit on that squid. Yeah, honestly, not a bad cleanup. Not a bad cleanup. It could have gone worse. I think he would have liked to get that nail hit and heal up before here, but
yeah,
being on 4 HP isn't a big detriment. We might see him heal at the gate, we might not. Caliris, in the meantime, going through his first Dark Room quite niftily. Looks like he knows it well. He's doing his inventory drops. He does D-Dark here for safety.
Oh, and there's the hazard respawn we were talking about. It's going to reset the room because he has aggroed that one spider that spawns there.
Yeah, it seemed almost pausing a moment to gather his breath or think about whether or not to heal. Being on 2 HP here can be scary.
Yeah, especially the last Dark Room, because you can get wombo comboed by that spider pretty easily as well. Sylvie taking a bit of damage heading over to the Petra Arena as well. Sylvie going for underplat and gets it first try.
Let's go. And here I'll be showing off the Great Slash. Starting off the charge a little late. It looks like Caliris did take a bit of damage that he didn't want to take there. Sylvie taking some damage as well. The difference between these two is that Sylvie definitely has a place coming up where he's able to heal, where... Caliris...
Oh.
Pulling a Sabi, missing the hole.
At least he's through the Great Slash so that he didn't hard fall when he fell. That is something. Yeah, Sylvie taking some opportunity to heal off of these. Are they Moskins? I forget what they're called.
I don't think they're Moskin. Moskin are the green path enemies. I wouldn't know the name for them though.
Well, at any rate, they're pretty safe. Their spikes don't hit you, so they're fairly easy to farm as long as you don't run into them. Moss Creep. Thank you, Colette.
Oh. No, yeah, the spiky ones, I think.
Yeah, the spiky boys.
No, yeah. The moss creeps are the ones that walk on the walls and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We have like a flying moss creep or something by a completely different name. Yeah, spike boys, I don't think anyone knows.
They're spiky boys.
They're soul sacks in this they're green colored soul sacks, carrot enemies, some
Ooh.
people call them based on the thorns, but
Sylvie getting hazard respawn there is going to reset the room. I thought he had actually made it, but he did run into the spikes at the top there.
yeah. It's a little rough because now there's going to be some additional spikes. We'll have to remember that. Oh, no, he actually didn't break them the first time around.
Oh, but
Oh,
he's
1
on
HP.
1 HP.
Oh, he does opt for a heal there. Honestly, I feel like he was past the danger. I don't think he needed a heal there. But
Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah, that last spider, like, because I think the devout is a lot more dangerous than, like, the devout is still going to kill Sylvie if he's on 2 HP, right?
Yes.
But
I wonder if he's going to farm soul from the devout below the one before Hera.
that would be the smart move. Sylvie missing the entrance to Deep Nest as well.
Here he goes.
Alright.
Caliris, meanwhile, making his way to Abyss. Are we going to get Swag Door? Oh, he looks like he's setting up for Swag Door.
I've honestly seen, like...
Sylvie takes that death there.
That's really rough, and that was what I was trying to get at there, was that the devout at the end is way more dangerous. Fighting the devout is way more dangerous than it is to be on 1 HP, because the devout's going to kill you on 2 HP anyway.
Yeah.
So healing there does nothing, but it deprives you of soul, which you need to fight the devout with. It's a little bit of nervous decision making, I think, from Sylvie there. But
yeah. Would have been a better opportunity to save that soul for the D-Dark and the Fireball, just to get rid of the devout. And then going into the dream with Hera, you would have had your HP back as well.
Hopefully what we're seeing here is a sync up. Yeah, it looked something like a sync up there. No, it wasn't, because it just skipped forward in time to after the... Dang it. Oh, so we're seeing Sylvie type, but he typed that while he was sitting on the bench, so he has decided to continue. A death in the beast then, like...
That is a bad place.
A time loss getting the beast. Someone was asking how much time it would have cost to go down to the bottom and get the beast den bench. And honestly, I think the answer is going to be under 40 seconds, which I think on 1 HP may be worthwhile.
Oh,
well,
Sylvie.
maybe no, yeah,
No, that's where I think he said GG. That's why I think he said GG because of that.
Yeah, my brain is not quite comprehending there. The chat is not the one that's delayed, it's the video that's delayed. I shouldn't have meant to say that.
GG to Sylvie. Respectable. Meanwhile, we're seeing Caliris gather his last skill, which is going to be Shriek. Not really something that's used much in the run, except for the THK fight, which we'll be seeing shortly. But before that, we will be seeing one of people's favorites, ILs, Abyss Climb. We'll see how he manages that.
Yeah, the really unfortunate thing about Shriek is that it's objectively the most powerful spell, dealing 120 damage compared to D-Dark's 88. I guess a triple hit from a Shade Soul could compare, but mostly in this run we're just focused on double hits, and D-Darks for the most part. So it's a huge amount of damage for all 4 damage ticks, but we get it so late in the run, there's simply nothing left to kill except for the Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
It does see a little more usage in 106 and 112%. 112% especially, because they don't have the benefit of flukes.
Well,
But
Flux is broken.
yeah, flukes are completely broken. This is yet another pause, I guess, with
It's Caliris's.
Caliris
Yeah,
here.
Caliris is.
This is almost certainly not a resync of any kind.
No.
That's a mark.
Caliris gets through cleanly, it looks like, though. He's still on full HP, so. No, kitty, go away.
I'm interested to see where Sylvie's going here.
Probably kill
He was
Milo.
done with the race. Kill Milo?
Yeah, he's probably going to kill Milo.
Making his way downtown. I guess this is. I'm just not used to seeing people kill Milo from this position, I guess, but this is actually how you would get there. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I have resigned myself to seeing it happen.
There we go. Another Milo lover broken. You hate to see it.
I'm not broken. I'm not gonna fight.
I think that's what broken means.
No, I'm not broken. I'm bent, not broken.
Alright. Very well. But, we will see Caliris here heading in to the Hollow Knight fight. We're going to want to see... Honestly, I should have been more focused on the Abyss Climb, but then again, the Abyss Climb was stopped prematurely by a stream freeze.
He did get through it cleanly. He had full health, so... It looks like it didn't go too badly.
Yeah, probably no spike hits or anything, because yeah, you wouldn't want to heal there, even if you did take a hit.
Ooh, Sylvie.
That was a neat dodge.
I'm surprised he's not dream nailing these golems. To get some soul. At least to heal up, if not to take care of that enraged Vengefly. But anyways,
I think
Caliris is
concerned about the enraged miner, to be fair.
enraged miner. Anyways, Caliris is doing his THK fight now, and there's where we see the wraiths. The wraiths. You do have to get very, very close for all of the ticks to damage the THK, so there will be some.
Is he actually saving Sly here? This is not the path to Milo. What is he saying? Hi to Saludra?
Where is he? He's gonna go save the grub, isn't he? In King Station, or just below King Station. Is that what he's doing? That's a scurry thing, isn't it?
In any case, Caliris is finishing up the fight now that his team is
there it
unfrozen.
is. There we go. Oh, he's gonna sit before. Very nice run.
Yeah.
A few deaths, but that was a very nice THK fight. GG to both runners. Did you want to mark
yeah.
Caliris is finished?
Yeah.
And that way we can get both of them in.
Mm-hmm.
Finally a sync. Ouch. Oh, chat said finally a sync.
A sync, let's go. We did have several resyncs from our volunteer. I do want to thank him for that.
Yes, thank you very much.
Never got an invite? Yeah, I think we'll have to manually invite Sylvie, but that's fairly easy to do.
I don't see Caliris down below either.
I'm almost certain that it worked for him. Sometimes forfeit, I think.
Messes it up? Okay. Oh, there's Sylvie. And there's Caliris. So they can both join when they're ready to come back up.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Sylvie.
Hello, Sylvie.
Hello.
Hello,
Caliris.
Caliris.
Holy moly, what a
Hey,
race
GG.
from you guys. It was honestly high octane, for sure.
That's believable.
Were Sylvie, I know that you did stop to type in chat, but I'm actually not sure if you were watching the entire time. Were either of you watching the race?
I had it on the second screen. I wasn't like paying attention to it most of the time,
Okay, okay.
but I knew it was really back and forth.
Yes.
It really was.
Yeah.
What about Caliris?
I also was watching the stream.
Alright.
So I knew about all of the crazy time swings from both ends.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, the Crystal Peaks, I think, being the first death of the race, for you, Caliris. Was there anything in particular you felt like was going wrong there? Because usually your movement is quite high level, and that is a very movement-based split. Did you just get thrown off cycle and not have a chance to recover?
Yeah, I guess just nerves and probably not practicing that as much as I should have.
Fair enough. And Sylvie, I kept trying to talk about this, but we ended up having to move on just because there was so much else going on in the race. But you were in key room with 2 HP, and you got the trans dash, I believe, where you safely avoided that spiky crawler guy on the wall
Mm-hmm.
on 2 HP, and then you proceeded to not heal for the entire rest of C peaks. And I was like, wow, that's actually crazy. That you would be 2 HP in key room and then just don't lose another. You didn't take another hit throughout the rest of the split.
That's incorrect. I did heal once, and you missed it. I took a nasty dunk in the Sea Heart room.
He
You
did.
did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because his
Okay.
nail art. He let go of his nail art early.
Right.
Remember?
No,
You know what? That's true.
But yeah, okay.
And then you healed using soul from right. The Glen back. Okay. All right, my mistake then. It was still a pretty clean split. That like you didn't have to. That you managed to avoid that extra damage in key room because that would have been nerve wracking to be on 1 HP even earlier.
Mhm.
Man, there's a lot to talk about in this race. If you guys actually want to stick around, I don't know how much of it.
I got nothing else to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure, I can stick around for as long as you want.
Okay. So the next
Soul
thing
Ma-
I think of
Soul Sanctum.
Soul Sanctum. We could talk about that.
Caliris.
Holy moly.
That's Soul Twister. He kind of walled you off there for a bit. What were you?
Yeah.
What were you planning, or what were your thoughts at that moment?
Yeah, Soul Twister was very mean to me. I don't know, I guess I had no soul and was on 1 HP, so I just went for soul hits where I could and tried to heal and just not
Ugh.
die.
Yeah, it was a terrifying situation. I said that was probably the most tense I've ever seen that room. I've seen runners die with less intensity. And it was impressive to see you do all that. You're going back and forth. You healed up to 2 HP, took another damage, decided to YOLO it. I was like, holy moly! It did end up costing you the quick kill there, but
Yeah.
like either way, the fact that you managed to get through that without a death was very fun to comment over. So Sylvie, did you see that first death in Sea Peaks?
Not until I was leaving D-Dark.
Leaving D-Dark, but so going into Watcher Nights, you knew essentially how far ahead you'd be.
Yeah.
Is there any thoughts as you took a death in the Nisma's Tier? That was your first death.
I mean, I'm really angry at myself for this run, honestly. Those deaths that I took were all so stupid and so avoidable.
It's pretty rough.
Farming soul inside the worm for whatever reason. Yeah, I guess I was just nerves, and I don't know. I was feeling it hard with the stress of the run.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, being
Was there
ahead
anything
can
that
be...
you were happy with?
Sorry.
Was there anything that you were happy with in the run?
I think that was the quickest I ever killed Grow's mother.
Okay.
Nice.
I wonder if I had any golds.
Yeah, I do think you had some pretty good splits there. I think that overall your movement has been the fastest it's been in a run or in a race. Early game maybe not so much, but
Oh yeah, I golded King Station and D-Dark.
there we go.
Okay. Fair.
According to my life split, I also golded King Station.
Hey.
Yeah.
Gee.
Oh, are you sure you didn't gold Cyclone Slash with a bench skip there? That's a 2-second time save?
No,
Colette was actually mentioning too that you could have just C-dash from above Mato and it would have taken you back to Dirtmouth.
Yeah, she did mention that you probably didn't realize where your save was until it was too late.
Yeah. Like, I quit out, had a little gasp moment, then saw where the respawn location was, and I was like, oops.
Hmm.
Then at that point, I kind of, got a little mad at myself and kind of went off from there with playing badly.
Yeah, the Beast Done split was really rough, but...
Oh, I'm so sad that guy hit me, though. I thought I was out. I really thought I was out.
Yeah, once they're all aggroed like that, it's pretty hard to predict what they're gonna do next. But other than that, I this was a really fun race to commentate. Caliris, how are your feelings? This is the end of the tournament for you guys. This is your final race. How are you feeling ending it on a win?
I'm pretty happy ending it on a win. Yeah, I guess I would have liked to have gotten a deathless run, but I guess a win is a win, so I'm happy with that.
And what was the win?
You were just given the content before you were gonna pull it out, but then you didn't need to because I messed up. We know.
All right. Any final words from Sylvie? Questions from chat?
Thank you, chat, for cheering me on. I do appreciate every single one of you. You're great.
Kali does mention Invisible Umu.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I thought I knew where it was when Quarrel came in, but then I realized after I was in the acid and I had to readjust and kind of went from hell to there, but I managed to pull it out.
Oof. Yeah, it was a wild fight. I don't know if I could do Invisible Umu. Positioning that fight's so important.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Good job to both of you guys, though. GG.
GG.
GG. And with that, I think we'll be able to conclude the episode. I think we'll be back with some races later in the day, or later in the evening.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow, 11 a.m. EST is our first race. It's a current patch race, actually, between Jamie and JB Hyperion. Top current patch runners, I believe.
Yeah, there will be 3 races tomorrow, and then another 3 on Sunday. So we have a packed weekend ahead of us.
Excellent. So with that, we'll be wrapping it up here. Thank you to both the racers for making this a fun race to commentate, and thank you for chat. Thanks to Rixian, as usual, being here.
Thank you to my co-com.
All right.